Greetings class, this project is project 2, course project 2, which is project 2G in your textbook on page 199. We're going to go ahead and first get the student files. We go to this website. I'll give you a minute to get that. I'll also have it in the lesson 2 deliverables. And this site also has good videos if you're interested in watching videos on each topic. We go to student data files, we click on chapter 2. We're going to save it as, I just save it to my desktop, so it's already there. It's asking to replace it. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to go ahead and open the folder. Right, this is for a Mac, this is for Windows. I'm going to take the 2G and I'm going to drag it to my desktop. Now what it asks us to do is it asks us to rename our database. So what we're going to do is we're going to open it up. We're going to click File, Save As. We're going to save it as a database. And we are going to put our last name and first name 2G. So last name underscore first name. We're going to save it. Okay, then it asks us to rename our tables. I simply right click, rename. I'm going to click the Home tab, which puts me to the beginning. So right click, rename, click the Home tab, puts me to the beginning. Go ahead and close that out. Okay, so the next step, it asks us to open our database just to make sure that they're not corrupted and can open. So I just double clicked it. I do see that there's data entered, so I'll go ahead and close it. I do that to the same one just to verify that it is working, it's not corrupted. Now it asks us to create a one-to-many relationship between our 2G table and our 2G scholarship award table. It asks us to use the common field student ID. That's very important. I'll show you why. And enforce referential integrity and enable both cascade options. So go ahead and take this by clicking the Database Tools tab up top. We're going to click on Relationships. We're going to add both tables. I just pressed the Shift button and clicked on the bottom table while the top one was highlighted. I'm clicking Add. I'm going to close that. And it asks us that common field, which was student ID, right? So we have a student ID field in both tables, right? That's the common field. So we want to create a one-to-many relationship between them. So I just simply take it and drag it to this one, right? It's asking us to enforce referential integrity and ask us to enable both cascade options. So I just clicked them all. We can see the relationship type is one-to-many, and I click create. So what absolutely does that mean? Well, it means that a student can have a student ID can have different relationships between the tables. So a student ID can have a scholarship name, it can have an amount, it can have a major, it can have an award date, right? It's just not one-to-one. So it's not a student ID can have a student ID. It's a student ID can have everything in that table. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and close that. Save our relationship. And then the next thing it asks us to do, it asks us to create a report relationship with normal margins, saving it with the default name. So again, we're still in the database tools. Oh, sorry, we're in design tools. We're running a relationship report. We are going to place it on normal margins. So margins normal. And we save it as the default name. So we just ask us to save it. We click yes, that's the default name. Okay, then it tells us to close all objects. Then it tells us to open up our 2G students table, and it tells us to change the student ID field that has 99999 and enter 2839403. And it says press the down arrow, so it takes the change, and then close the table. Okay, class, next we're on step 3 on page 199. It's asking us to create a query in Query Design for the 2G Scholarship Award table. So first we're going to click on the 2G Scholarship Award table. We're going to create a query in Design View, right? So we're on the table, Scholarship Awards, create a query in Design View. We're going to use that table. Once we have that table added, we're going to close this and asking us these questions. What is the scholarship name, amount, major? Then it asks us in the major for scholarships greater than or equal to $500. So the amount, the criteria we're looking for is greater than or equal to $500. And then it asks us to sort in ascending order by scholarship name. Scholarship name, ascending order, okay? And we're going to go ahead and close the query. It'll ask us to save it. Yes, we're going to save it as last name, first name, 2G amount, 500 or more query. And press OK. What we're going to do is we're going to run this query just to make sure that it's doing the right criteria, right? $500 or more, there should be 8 records. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is correct. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close that query. And then next it's asking us to, from the navigation pane, to copy this. So I right click, I copy that. All right, and so now what I'm going to do after I copy it, so I right click, copy, right? I'm going to right click, paste. I'm going to rename it. It says to rename it as Awards Fourth Quarter, so 2G Awards Fourth Quarter query. I'm going to OK. Here's our query. But what we need to do is we need to revise this query. So I'm just going to right click and go to Design View. Okay, so remember these were our parameters for our other query. In this case, it's asking us which scholarship name, so that's still correct. We're not to sort by there in ascending order. It's asking us to an award date. It's asking us for what amount and what student ID. Okay, so we get these 4 parameters. We're going to get rid of that field because it's not asking us by less or more than $500. In this case, it's asking us an award date. And then we're going to sort in ascending order by the award date field. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, and now it's asking us between number. So anytime you want to enter a number field, you just put that number sign or hashtag nowadays, right? You surround it by those hashtags and you put both fields. Okay, so now I just click out of that. If I did something wrong, it would have come up to say no, invalid entry or invalid field. And I am doing step 4, and we're only displaying the necessary records. I'm going to go ahead and close. It should ask me to save it. and run that query to make sure I should have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that query did come correct, and it is sorting in ascending order by award date. Okay, class, now we are on step 5, which is create a query using your 2G scholarship award table. So we're doing let's go ahead and close this query out. 2G scholarship award. We're going to create a design query, 2G scholarship award table. We're going to close that. And the parameters that we want to do is scholarship name. We want to do major, and we want to do amount. And it's asking us some questions. It's asking us, with scholarship name, or with which scholarships were awarded either math or business majors for the amount more than $200, right? And we're going to also sort in descending order by that amount. So we have to do a couple things here. The first is the criteria for major. We need to make it math, right, or business. And be sure that you have quotes on either side of that, math or business, right? Not around the or, just the text, math or business. Remember, it's asking us to take the amount by descending order, and we want the amount to be greater than $200, right? Greater than $200. We're going to go ahead and it's going to ask us to name the query. The query's name is last name, first name, 2G math. We're going to put G together there. Math or business over $200 query. And okay. Okay, class, next we're on step 6. We're going to create a query. We're going to use the 2G table. So we're going to go to 2G table, create. We're going to create a query in design view. We're using the 2G students table. So we're going to click add, close it. And the questions that it's asking us is, what is the city, student ID, last name, first name of the students from the city that begin with the letter I? And then it tells us to do some sorting. So let's first hit that requirement. So it's asking us the city. It's asking us the student ID. It's asking us the last name. It's asking us the first name. And it's asking us a criteria starting with the letter I, or that's L, sorry. So we're doing like L, wildcard, quotes. That's a wildcard. So L and anything behind it. That's what that star means. It asks us to sort by ascending order for the city. It asks us to sort by ascending order for the last name. And it asks us to sort by ascending order by the first name. So we're going to go ahead and close that table, or that query. We're to name that query last name, first name, 2G L cities query. So when we run our last name, first name, L city query, it should display the records, and we should see the 5 records that have the student or that city L.